welcome to Easy Math, where your math lessons are made easier. In this video, we'll be talking about an important math concept called place value. Let's begin. The number system that we use in math is called base 10 because it uses 10 different symbols for counting. The 10 symbols that we use are called digits and they look like this: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. You might think that's only 9 digits, but remember, the 0 counts as one of the digits too. To see how our number system uses these digits to represent amounts, let's say we have a box loaded with apples that we need to count for our records. We're going to use something called a number place to count. The best way to understand a number place is to imagine that it's like a short line that's only big enough to hold one digit at a time. As we count, we'll change the digit that is in the number place to match how many apples we've picked. For example, if we start with no apples at all, we put the digit 0 in the number place because 0 means none. But then as the apples start coming, we begin to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now we've got 9 apples, but we've also got a problem. We've already run out of digits to count with. The highest digit that we have is a 9, but there's a lot more apples left to count. What will we do? The solution is to use groups to help us count. If we pick one more apple, we'll have 10, right? So let's combine those 10 apples into a single group. So how many apples do we have? 10. But how many groups of apples do we have? Just 1. This helps us with our lack of digit problems if we use another number place. Instead of using this new number place to count up individual apples one at a time like we did with the first number place, we're going to use it to count apples 10 at a time. In other words, we'll use it to keep track of how many groups of 10 apples that we've picked. For example, if we've picked only one group of 10, then we'll put the digit 1 in that number place. If we've picked 2 groups of 10, then we'll put the digit 2 in that number place. And if we pick 3 groups of 10, then we'll put the digit 3 in that number place, and so on. Because the new number place is being used to count groups of 10, it's allowing us to reuse original 10 digits, but this time they are able to count or represent bigger amounts. Since this new number place is for counting groups of 10, we're going to name it the tens place, and we'll name our original number place the ones place because we use it to count things one at a time. And here's the important thing. We're not going to use the new number place instead of the old one. We're going to use it alongside of the old one so that we have one number place for counting by ones and another number place for counting by tens. Using these two number places together, let us represent amounts that are in between the groups of 10. For example, if we've already picked 30 apples, then there will be a 3 in the tens place because we have 3 groups of 10. But there will be a 0 in the ones place because there are no individual apples left over. But if we pick 32 apples, then there will be a 3 in the tens place and a 2 in the ones place to represent the 2 individual apples that are not in the groups of 10. In fact, using only 10 digits and these two number places, we can count all the way from 0 up to 99. At 99, both our number places are maxed out with the highest digits and we won't be able to count any higher unless we get another number place. If we've picked 99 apples and then picked just one more, we'll have exactly 100 apples. And if we make a group from those 200 apples, we can use this new number place to count how many groups of 100 we've picked. That means that we can reuse the same 10 digits again in this new number place to count how many groups of 100 we have, and it's called the hundreds place because we use it to count groups of 100. Are you starting to see how our base 10 number system works? It uses different number places to represent the different size groups that we use to count, and the digits in those number places tell us how many of each group we have. The digit in the ones place tells us how many ones we have. The digit in the tens place tells us how many groups of 10 we have. And the digit in the hundreds place tells us how many groups of 100 we have. And have you noticed that each time we got a new number place to count larger groups, we place it to the left of the previous number place? That's important because number places are always arranged in the same exact order. Starting with the ones place, as you move to the left, the number places represents larger and larger amounts. Did you also notice that each new number place represents groups that are exactly 10 times bigger than the previous number place? 10 is 10 times bigger than 1 and 100 is 10 times bigger than 10. That's really important because it helps us see the pattern for bigger number places. It helps us see that the next number place will count groups of 10 times 100, which is 1000. That is why it is called the thousands place. And the next number place will count groups 10 times bigger than that, the 10,000s place. And the number places keep on going like that. Next is the 100,000s place, then the millions place, then 10 millions, then 100 millions, then billions, and so on. And you may notice that when we go out of number places next to each other like this, it's so hard to quickly recognize which place is which. That's why we can use some kind of separator every 3 places to make them easier to keep track of. We use a comma every 3 number places to make it easier to identify things like the thousands place or the millions place. Seeing all these number places together helps you understand what we mean by place value. In a multi-digit number, the number place that a digit is in determines its value. Even though we only have 10 digits, each digit can stand for different amounts depending on the place that it occupies. If the digit 5 is in the ones place, it just means 5. But if a 5 is in the tens place, then it means 50. And if a 5 is in the hundreds place, it means 500. And it's the same for bigger number places. A 5 in the 100,000s place means 500,000. And a 5 in a billions place means 5 billion. Let's see place value in action with some actual numbers by expanding them to show the really combinations of different groups. When you do this, it's called writing a number in expanded form. For example, we can expand 423 to be 400, 20, and 3 because the 4 is in the hundreds place and means 400. The 2 is in the tens place and means 20, and the 3 is in the ones place, so it just means 3. So 423 in expanded form is the combination of those amounts, 400 plus 20 plus 3. Do you know now how our base 10 number system works? Number places are used to count different size groups. Each group is 10 times bigger than the next, and the digits in the number places tells us how many of each group we have. Now you know how our base 10 number system works, and I hope you've learned something today from us. Don't want to miss our next video? Subscribe on our channel by simply hitting the subscribe button, and see you in our next video.